apparently video games in various varieties. Also some video game news and video game adjacent news. But let's start with the video game du jour. What's going on with this Blue Pants game?
Immediately, no one rises. So it's Blueprints, and it's Prince. For people who are looking for it, because if you type Prince Prints, you will not find it. Blueprints is a roguelike house builder mystery game. Where you play as a young boy who has inherited this bizarre mansion, but you only get to accept the inheritance if you can find the hidden 46th room in this 45-room house.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the short version of what's going on. In reality, this game reminds me a lot of like Riven and Myst, in that it's like an expanding puzzle game that is big on the mental strain, I guess. Okay. I have an infinite amount of questions that never seem to be answered. Or I'll answer one question and I have 6 more suddenly for reasons, you know?
Yeah.
Just because of how it's set up. It's very good.
Mm-hmm. And Rocky, you are hip deep in this as well, right?
Probably shoulder deep at this point, if I'm being honest.
Oh no.
Like, the game was made available this past Thursday, which would have been April 10th, and I've played it for about 14 hours so far, in between Final Fantasy and stuff. Like, I've been digging into this.
Mm-hmm. Rocky also, when the demo was available, Rocky played that on stream.
I did do that, yeah.
I will say, there was definitely stuff that like we found on stream that I was like, I feel like this is important, but I can't explain why. And then it turns out it was. So,
Yeah, like I think it is one of those games that falls into like the category of media that I love the most, which that it rewards your attention. That if something stands out to you, it's probably something you want to like remember or pay attention to, because it comes up later, generally speaking. The game itself is, like a roguelike kind of exploration game. Like, you walk into the house and like when you approach a door, you are able to draft what the next room is going to be from like 3 choices that's pulled from a pool. And the pool shifts based on the choices that you make throughout the house and through other like happenings that you're able to trigger. And it feels like to me that there really is a very discrete method to like how these like rooms are generated. And I'm very interested in seeing how to like pull them together. Like, one of the things that I was able to do just before this stream is that I was able to manipulate the way that the rooms were generated so that I could get 2 particular rooms that allowed me to get into the 45th room, which has largely been sequestered off. Like, it's all the way on the other side of the house. It has 3 sealed doors that you need to unlock at least one of using a lever that you either find or repair someplace throughout the house. And, the game, just kind of drops you in the space. It expects you to kind of really reason and reckon with the stuff that's going on. There's somewhat of a tutorialization, but it's not like sit down and watch this video for an hour or walk through this premiere mission that's like the cleanest slice of the game that we could give you. It's just like, here's the space. We built a puzzle box. We trust that you'll be able to figure it out. And I'm working my way through it, and it feels really good.
Some of the the rooms that you are most likely to draft early on in your pull have cards that have like, hey, this is how this kind of works. A little bit on it. So it'll be like, hey, like sometimes if you see this symbol on a piece on a room, it means that whatever item you would get in this room is going to be spread to multiple rooms of the same type in your house. So so then you'll have reason, like if you're going back through a room, you want to make sure to make note because there might be extra things for you to pick up and like that kind of stuff.
And again, there's a lot of tools that allow you to like control stuff like that. Like for example, there is a particular room that you can draft, the conference room, that will make it so if there are items that are spread throughout the house, they will convene in the conference room. So you can do things like spread like resources that you'd use to open doors, like keys or gems or gold throughout the house. And then you can just draft the conference room and collect it all at once. Also, like the main currency that you use to like traverse the space is like your personal stamina. It's shown as like steps. Every time you step into a room, it'll cost you like a step to like enter it. But sometimes you'll like draft stuff like bedrooms that will like restore a bit of your steps, or you'll find food that you can eat that will give you a bit more energy to press on. But sometimes you'll run into like areas, like the other day I was telling Tegan, I got into a room. I drafted a room called the weight room that had a couple of different like directions that you could go out of it, but it took half of my steps. And at that point I had like 80. And so like basically my whole run was cut in half because I drafted this room because I wasn't paying attention. It's one of those things. Like it's
okay.
It very much wants you to like really engage with what's going on, and it gives you a lot of tools to play with. I recently found the laundry room that allows you to convert currency into other currency. So if you end up in a run that you just have a billion gems that you have no use for, if you use the laundry room, you can just turn them into money, or even turn them into keys. And it feels like there are a lot of ways to touch the various tools that are in the game, and you're encouraged to. We haven't even started talking about like items and stuff yet. But Jesus
Sorry,
Christ.
what?
Items. Like I know you saw maybe a bit of my inventory. I had like a broken lever and like a sledgehammer and stuff. There's like one key item is like a shovel, for example, because there's just like dig spots where you can dig for stuff. And like sometimes it's useless. There's a bunch of useless stuff, but like you can get like coins and keys and gems from them. And there are several tools throughout the game that will allow you to manipulate the number of dig spots. Like for example, if you unlock the laboratory, you can start an experiment that will make it so that if you do X, Y will happen. And I had one at one point that was like every time you eat an apple, they spread dirt on the driveway. So like every time you eat an apple, you could go back outside the house and just dig up a new spot and like roll for something else. Or if you draft a bunch of green rooms, things that have like flora in them, they generally come with dig spots, and so like you can just dig into some of those. And there's even a set of rooms that are outside the house that you can use to augment your run, and one of them makes it so that dig spots are just more populous throughout the house. They'll just show up in more rooms. And so like you can orient a run based on like the resources that you have, as long as you've unlocked like the permanent upgrades that will give you particular tools. It's really neat.
So, all right. Kind of. So, all right. I'm kind of confused about how it seems to be the described structure of the game, where like there are things that have like fixed definitions, and it sounds like the puzzles have solutions where you're like, okay, this thing, like this always does this. I'm trying to like, I guess, like get my arms around how this is compatible with a roguelike structure.
Okay.
Because in like Myst, part of what makes Myst work is that the things are where they are, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's bespoke. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like,
I mean, you don't have to get everything on one day, and you weren't expected to get everything on one day.
Yeah. I also think while there may be like I'm very excited to see what speedrunners end up doing with this game once they start solving more significant pieces of it. I do think that there is a way to like push through the game as quickly as possible. And like the same way I don't know if you saw any of it, Brian, but in Hades speed running, there was someone figured out the procedural generation of the rooms of like like the places in between so that you could get certain items and
Right.
generate certain shops. I am almost certain that Blueprints has a similar like schema, that there are ways to like generate a particular house with particular rooms whenever you
this
need.
reminds me of
There super is.
okay, all right, like the idea that like that a player can understand the like this like the room seed
Right.
like architecture and be like, oh, okay, like I could force it to make a lavatory, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. This reminds me
Mm-hmm.
of a dude in the mid '80s.
Okay.
There was a guy who was kind of like a out of work schlub, and he had he watched the game show Press Your Luck, where there's a big board and the various players take trips around the big board in an effort to win as much money as possible and to not land on a square labeled whammy.
Yeah,
if you
actually,
land on whammy, you lose all your money.
I'm familiar with
so
the show. That was actually one of the first times people thought I was going to be a game show host when I grew up.
And so the pressing of one's luck is like, after you've won money, do you continue to go around the big board? Because if you go around the big board, you're pressing your luck.
Right.
So there's this dude who recorded a whole bunch of episodes of Pressing Your Luck on VHS. It was like sitting there watching them. And he realized, as he was watching dozens and dozens and dozens of episodes of Press Your Luck, that despite what the people on the show had said about the light pattern around the board being randomized, he discovered it was in fact not randomized, and that what was happening was the lights around the board would move in one of 5 distinct patterns.
Sure.
And so he went to LA, he turned in like an audition tape where he had like this whole like sob story, like, oh, I'm just trying to get enough money together to like buy a present for my kid. And they went for his sob story. They put him on the air. And he proceeded to, like, in 1984 money, win something on the order of like $250,000.
Amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Great news. He can definitely get a present for his kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was in fact no kid.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
yeah.
Yeah.
This dude recognized like how the game worked, and then just sat there and like totally like gamed it. And the game he was playing like went so long they had to extend recording of that episode to another day. There were points where he got tired and he would like mess up trips around the board intentionally to give himself a little break. And at the end, like, CBS was like, well, what do we do? And they had no way to prove that this man cheated.
Right. Because he didn't cheat. That's not what happened.
See, this is interesting. This is interesting. Because you're taking the position that he didn't cheat.
Right.
That he was just, I guess, like, the best to ever do it, because he realized that, like, it wasn't random and that there were patterns.
He didn't have insider knowledge. He didn't break any mechanics. Like, he studied the game and learned it. Like, you know, like, that's like saying I cheated at a math test because I know what times tables are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. He didn't cheat.
later on, some years later, he wrote a letter to CBS,
Okay.
and said like, CBS, like, I see that you have now changed the patterns on your boards because of me.
That's
And
justice.
now that instead of having 5 patterns on your boards, you now run 28 different patterns on your boards. I hereby challenge you to a rematch.
Real.
CBS should not take the man up on his offer.
No, I would have done it. And then if he won, I would have been like, instead of the cash prize, like if you win so many rounds, we will hire you full time to help design this game board.
CBS didn't care about game shows that much.
No, I would do it. I would turn that man into a game master. It would be great.
I mean, that could be cool, but like game show, like production companies that make game shows made them because they are cheap. They're a way to drum up like interest because of huge sums of money. And as long as no one really wins that crazily, then like they could effectively do it forever. Like that guy had the opportunity to potentially bankrupt this show, if not severely hurt the pocketbooks of like CBS. So they're not going to let him on. Like that was a business decision. But like they would have lost so much money. It's like when people kept winning Deal or No Deal and then they took it off the air. Because like they couldn't give everyone $1 million every week. That's insane.
Yeah, it does get some comparisons to like the 1950s like game show cheating scandals, where like various networks were legitimately giving the answers on game shows to certain contestants because they were like, "You're more photogenic. We want you to come back next week because we think people will like you more."
Right.
So we're like, and that is unquestionably a cheating scandal.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Right, because
literal insider knowledge.
If you're giving certain contestants the answers and not giving other contestants the answers, or explicitly telling certain contestants like, "Hey, time to take a dive this week. We need you to answer incorrectly." Like that is, but this was not that. This was like, dude's like, the big board has 5 light patterns. I win. And
I watched your show so much, I figured it out. You know, that's some Brendan Lee Mulligan game changer shit.
True.
I support it.
I think more games in the modern age like can benefit from that kind of behavior, but like at the time, it presented a real threat.
It's like, so when you're talking about like the idea of like, oh well, you can prompt the generation of certain like rooms,
right?
It made me think of this. It also made me think about the foxes in Skyrim.
Sure, yeah.
Because of the logic that the foxes have been given to govern their AI. So like the foxes have this, because the foxes do not attempt to engage in combat. They see the player and they're like, "Oh no, player!" and they run in fear. But because the game AI does not understand topography as topography like you and I would, it doesn't look at the landscape and go like, "Oh, I need to run 2 miles away to maybe escape the player." It can't think that, or like at least they didn't create an AI that could understand that kind of idea.
Sure.
What they did was they gave the foxes an understanding of landscape as it was understood at an architecture level. And so like the fox thinks, I need to run as many triangles as possible away from the player. Because it's polygons, beneath like any shading that may occur, there are polygons which define like escape. And so because polygons come in like varying sizes, if you encounter a fox like out in the middle of like the large fields like outside of Whiterun, the fox is gonna like take forever to run away from you because like most of the polygons making up the landscape are large, and so there's less of them. But when you encounter foxes like in like the hills and the mountains and the forests,
triangles are necessarily bigger.
Right, the polygons are certainly smaller because like there's more objects that you're running into along the way. But what is an interesting byproduct of this is that chase a fox long enough in Skyrim, if you just persistently bother a fox, it will inevitably lead you to points of interest. Because if you encounter it out in like a field, or even in the mountains, like like things like entrances to caves or bandit forts or treasure chests, like stuff like that, require more triangles because they're bespoke content which has been made. And so, like, if you harass a fox long enough in Skyrim, it will inevitably always lead you to something interesting because something interesting is made of more triangles.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah. And so it's one of those. It's kind of one of those, like, if you understand the architecture underneath the architecture, you can abuse it in interesting ways. And be like, I wonder what's this way. I'll just follow this fox until it leads me to something. So back to the blueprints. I think you have an understanding now about how you can like prompt certain rooms to be generated.
A little, not a lot. Like the thing that I did with like the foyer into the grand hall was a prayer, actually. Like it wasn't, I was not certain. There are a couple things I know I can do with some of the corner rooms, and I know how to generate like garden plots generally, and the secret garden specifically, which is pretty important. But there's a couple of that I would like to spawn more frequently that I don't quite understand, like the greenhouse and the study. But I think the study is like proximity limited. Like I think you have to spawn it on the back end of the house. Like I think actually against the northern wall, but I'm not sure yet. And I know how to how to spawn like some buildings of interest, like, or some rooms of interest, like the garage. I know how to do that whenever I need to. I'm still missing like 2 steps to like summon the utility closet, which is actually an incredibly useful room. I was avoiding it for like the first couple of weeks I was playing because it's a dead end. But like honestly, it's useful in just about every run. And I really wish I had really minded of all of its secrets on day 1. But I'll probably have to do that on the next sequence because, like, I'm pretty sure you only have 30 days to find the 46th room, and I'm on day 27. And while I've learned a lot, and I think I figured out where the 46th room actually is, I am nowhere near getting there yet.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm toddling along on day 11 like, wow! I have so many things!
You play a lot more methodically than I do, generally.
I'm so slow.
That's not what
But I keep... Yeah. No, I mean, it is slow because I'm not mashing. But like, and I'm taking very detailed notes of every room that I go into because I'm trying to like big brain my way out of it, and it's not working. Because in my attempt to big brain my way out of it, I keep making two row houses where it's just like I'm in a little circle and now I have 60 steps and nowhere to go.
Oh, that's another thing. Like I'm noticing that one of the things that I did that led to a lot of dead ends is I would like not leave open spaces around rooms that I plan to draft in. And so like by the time I actually get to my draft choices, like if I get a bend that goes not the way I want to, my run's over and that's it. And like I need to like leave more space while drafting to make up some certain stuff. I learned a lot when I got an outdoor room that made it so that there would be 5 gold in the outdoor room every time I drafted a dead end. And I started to do something really particular where I would draft a room and then like make like a space and then draft inward to see if I
Mhm.
could make a branch or a dead end. And if I made a dead end, then I would make sure I had 2 rooms away until I tried branching back in to make another dead end. And I actually got a lot of space out of that. I also learned a lot from that outdoor room in general, because this house is holding some secrets. There's also apparently a conspiracy that has to do with the crown, and a missing heir that appears to have been kidnapped, very much at least disappeared, but may have been smuggled into a different country.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Also, there's an abandoned mine allegedly in quotation marks around this house, but there's also like a series of like underground structures that were filled up with dirt like nearly a century ago, like
Mhm.
in universe, which is weird because like I don't know. There's a lot of things going on. There's questions that I don't have answers to. I'm very interested to find them.
Rocky, are you telling me that your manor home doesn't just have things that were tunneled out and then filled in later?
Well, now there is. Now that I have this a perpetual room that is stuck in this particular place.
Amazing. That's the other thing, is that like some rooms, some changes persist, which is not something that I was expecting. You
Right.
know, like
Yeah.
there's the things that persist were like that are permanent upgrades. Like I expect those, but like knowing that some things that I do in the house will stay done is fascinating. When everything else changes. So like there is a pump room, and if you pump water out of an area and into another area, the water stays. Even if you don't get the pump room the next day, it just stays. Crazy.
Yeah.
God, this game is so good.
I noticed at first when I like drained the pool and I came back like 2 days later and the pool was still drained. And so like I started moving the water elsewhere. I think I pumped a lot of water into the reservoir, and like maybe I needed to pump less. But I don't know how much less. I'm gonna try one step and see if that helps, because from what I'm looking at least the persistent changes are all outside of the manor.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, actually, okay. Yeah, I think technically like outside of the manor, because there are some garden rooms that have persistent changes. Like there's a puzzle that I solved to find one of the levers that lets me into the antechamber, and that lever is always revealed. But if you go back, if you redraft the room, you do have to pull the lever again.
Okay.
So I think those are like that. And I know like the garage door, for example, it'll always respawn with 3 keys in it, and the garage door will be closed. So you do have to reopen it if you want to. I don't know if there's a good reason to at the moment, but like I know that exists. Also, I don't understand the experiments thing, because like you can go in the laboratory, you can trigger an experiment that does like if you do X, Y will happen. But there's also an outdoor room, the shelter, that will monitor radioactivity. And it seems to imply whenever the experiment is triggered, the radioactivity in the house will go up. And there is a level at which there's so much radiation that all of the doors in the house will simply auto lock. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what that's about. I'm not even sure if I'm going to have to do it on purpose, but it is there. It frightens me.
I'm excited. I want to do it.
Hell yeah.
I haven't been able to draft the laboratory and the boiler room at the same time yet.
Same.
But as soon as I can, I'm gonna run that experiment.
That seems kind of nuts. I also I got to do the periodic table thing, which I need the boiler room for. But you can just run experiments out of the laboratory computer. Like as long as you draft the room. Also, the third time I drafted the laboratory, there was a different workstation and a letter from one of, I guess, the researchers that was relatively new. Which seemed to imply that she doesn't know that like the staff isn't supposed to be here. And that, but they also talk about that it's that they had trouble getting to the laboratory, which also seems to imply that like if there are people who work here and work here consistently, there has to be a way to draft certain rooms in order on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And like the people who work in the house know how to do it. So like it's very much that the game itself is asking the young master to master the house or to prove that they can be master of the house. And this whole thing is an exercise in that.
Yeah.
Also, these fucking red letters, man.
Yeah, it's wild. Also, Brian, this is something I think you'll appreciate. The Rocky's been playing for 14 hours. I've been playing for not that many, 11 hours. Oh. I have 0 achievements unlocked. None of them.
Tegan, I actually got to the what's it called? You saw me. I got the basement key, and so I could open the basement. I still also have 0 achievements.
No achievements. Which is, I think, wild in this day and age where, like, a lot of games seem to be like, oh yeah, you completed chapter 2, achievement unlocked. Like, you're playing the video game so good, and it's just like, it doesn't matter how good I'm playing the video game. There's no achievements.
It's really spooky. The game itself alleges that there are 16 achievements. 11 of them are hidden, so I don't know what they are. The 5 that we have access to on Steam are Reach Room 46, which is effectively beat the game. Draft a room in each open slot of your house, which I've seen someone do, but like, or rather I know that someone has done, but like, I haven't been able to do it yet. There's a Trophy of Wealth, which is buy out the entire showroom, which I recently found. And if I'm doing my math right, you need 160 coins to buy out the entire showroom. There's the Explorer's Trophy, which is complete the Mount Holly directory, which means that you've gone into every possible room at least once, which I'm nearly done with, I think. Like most categories, I'm missing like 1 or 2 rooms from. I recently completed all the hallways. Like I've gotten every single possible hallway so far. And then Trophy of Trophies, complete the trophy case. Which means there's a trophy case someplace that I'm supposed to see. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, those are the available achievements. And I'm definitely progressing towards them. I haven't done any of these. And more importantly, there are 11 achievements that I know nothing about. Oh, man.
I'm having a lot of fun.
True. Yeah, no, jeez. I guess the thing that I keep on like getting lost on and not really sure I'm getting my arms around is the whole like there seems to be like the idea of this thing, like I guess happening across multiple days feels like it's at odds with its roguelike structure.
Okay.
Like it would seem to be that like run out of steps, you're done, try again. Mm-hmm. But like instead you can have a next day, and like I'm not really clear on how that works. You know?
Okay. I can walk you through a day if you like. Like, I'm not going to turn on the game or anything, but like the idea is that each day you start in the entrance hall. There are 3 doors, 1 in front of you and 2 to your left and right. When you walk up to a door, it gives you the option to draft a room. The room itself has a couple of different pieces of information that might be relevant. The color of the room, which usually denotes like its type. Like purple rooms are bedrooms generally, which will help you restore steps if possible. Orange rooms are hallways that usually have multiple entrances and exits, but usually don't have many special properties. Green rooms are gardens, and those are usually on like the perimeter of the house, like on the west and the east ends. And they usually have dig spots. They usually cost gems to like draft in the first place, and they usually return gems if not something else, and you can often find a shovel in them. There are red rooms, which usually have multiple entrances and exits, like usually like upwards of 3 or 4. There are a couple exceptions, like the furnace, for example, which is just a room. But they usually come with like a cost, like the chapel costs you a coin every time you walk through it. The weight room will take half of your steps away. The dark room will, like when you walk into it, the lights will turn off and you will be unable to see the rooms that you're drafting out of that room while the lights are off. there are ways to work around them. Like, for example, the dark room, you can actually turn the lights back on after they've turned off, and you can negate that penalty. There's also an outdoor room that you're able to unlock at some point called the shelter that will protect you from the effects of up to 3 red rooms when you draft them in the house. So you can just like, get like their benefits, the open doors or additional information, but like you don't have to pay the cost of the room, which is nice. And you have this like 9x5 space where you draft rooms that are like connecting, ideally collecting items and resources as you move northward, and hopefully create a way to get into the antechamber so that you can progress to what appears to be the next stage of the game as opposed to the end of it. And if you are unable to create more rooms, like if you box yourself in somehow, or you create a situation where you are no longer able to proceed, where like you have steps, you have keys, you have gems or whatever, but you can't draft rooms that will allow you to proceed through the mansion, then you call it a day. Or you can sit there indefinitely, or you can walk around and explore the rooms you've already explored until you run out of steps. But the idea is that like you can progress up until a point inside the house, and at some point you can't progress. And so you call it a day and you start over. There are a few things that make things easier. For example, there are permanent upgrades. I found 3 of the 4 of them that will make it so that like one gives me extra steps at the beginning of every day, and it's not a nominal amount of steps. It's a lot of steps. One makes it so that I can, trigger this outer room that gives me some sort of boon to go throughout the day. God, I already forgot what the third one was. It's the orchard, the West End. Oh, there's a gem mine that like will just give you 2 gems to start with every day, and which makes it like easier to progress through like the outer ends of the house, especially the West End, because the West End, while you may run into gem cost there, you usually don't have to use as many keys to proceed through the left side. So there's that. But the idea is that on a given day, you start with like your 3 rooms and you try to expand and explore and gather resources. And ideally, there are some situations where you can take resources into another day, but generally speaking, you go until you can't go anymore. And then when you can't go anymore, you reset the day and you start the day over with, your permanent upgrades, but like no items and like the base floor set. And you try to learn more about the house. That's usually what it is. That's a day.
I think I'm still confused, but you know what? I might just need to fuck with this thing.
Maybe.
It's good.
Yeah. Like I just the idea, like,
Yeah,
it's like trying to. There comes a point where it's like difficult to like express how mechanics like work, because like the explanations start to like entangle experience and opinion, and so it's just like, oh man, like it's
No,
kind
that's
of
fair.
like describing a grandfather clock. Like you don't just like describe the mechanical function. There's also like, like, oh, and then it chimes, and here's what I think of the chime. It's not just like mechanical dissection.
Sure.
Yeah. So but I find this like very, very interesting. I also find it interesting that it's become a phenomenon so quickly. I had the experience yesterday of like, I opened my TikTok yesterday. I'm like, what is TikTok going to serve to me? And like, oh my god, like half of my TikTok feed was just like people being like, oh, blueprints, baby. Holy shit.
It's also been highly anticipated. Like, it did its first demo, like I think last like summer, and there were people who played that demo, which only gives you access to the first 4 days in the mansion. And they were like, "This is my game of the year 2024." It didn't even come out in 2024. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, I played the demo like a month before the game released, and I've been fiending for it basically ever since. Like, this is a really, really good game. It looks like Raw Fury and like their team, or I forget what the actual like dev team. I think Raw Fury is just the publisher. Let me look at it again. Dogubomb apparently spent like 8 years on this. And people have been comparing it to like The Witness in some ways. I think someone even called it a blow-like, which is weird, but whatever.
A what like?
Like Jonathan Blow?
Fuck that.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what that means.
Jonathan Blow was a very loud indie dev creator. His first big game was Braid, which was pretty good, very divisive ultimately. And then they basically locked themselves in an apartment and like worked on their next game and spent all of their Braid money. And they made The Witness, which is critically acclaimed, very good puzzle game. And then, Blow proved himself to be a shithead in the next like 4 years or whatever, and no one really fucks with them anymore.
Gotcha.
Well, just I think that like looking at like just like there are some like very deep puzzle mechanics in both Braid and The Witness,
Right?
but like it's not like Jonathan Blow didn't invent puzzle games.
Correct.
Yeah. Blow like Christ. Come on, people. Come on.
They're just trying to talk to each other, Brian.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad that people are trying to talk to each other in terms that they know. I think that's important.
Yeah. I mean, they're missing context. And sucks. It's infuriating in its own way. But, like, I don't know. Like, it's not a conversation I'm actually in. I just saw it happen. And I'm like, I get what you're saying. I don't agree with you. But, like, I hope something comes of your conversation.
Man, I'm just thinking about how like the best part of The Witness is playing The Witness.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, like the actual like climax, like the end of that game, the like ta-da, you have finished The Witness. It was like so like underwhelming because it was like basically Jonathan Blow congratulating himself for existing.
Sometimes that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, like when you also like get to like the little video footage of like Jonathan Blow like making The Witness. Like, oh look, like I assure you that this is pee in a bottle because he's been peeing in a bottle because he just wouldn't get it from his computer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like, why are we doing this? Like,
yeah.
Like this video game is like much more interesting when you like realize like, oh my god, you can complete the circuits with the landscape.
Mm-hmm.
Much better than Jonathan Blow's pee in a bottle. Or like when you start to realize that you can like gather stars in Braid and that there are like meta goals spread across the world. Like that's God, but like even then with like Braid, like the best part of Braid is playing Braid. Yeah. Because if you air quote get the good ending of Braid, it's basically like, why don't girls like me, who is Robert Oppenheimer?
Right.
It's like, what are you doing, dude? What the fuck are you doing? Like, because like, just from like a aesthetic object perspective, Braid is turning Super Mario into like a complex puzzle game, sure. And like that's fun, that's neat.
Yeah,
like Mario as an aesthetic object, which is also like a frustratingly difficult puzzle game. I'm here for it, but getting it to the end and having just be like, I am a genius who is unassailable. Why don't girls like me? It's like, oh my god, you're like, there you go, like asked and answered, sir. Like if your question is like, I'm perfect, why don't girls like me? Yeah. Then like we know why girls don't like you, Jonathan Blow. We know.
Honestly, like again, I know I talked a bit about this last week about how like looking at video games as like ludonarrative like experiences is kind of flawed because like the best part of the game is that it's a toy. I think. I think there are good stories that can be told with video games, but it's through interactivity. But like when someone basically like shoves in a plot point there, it makes it less interesting. And like even to the point where like cuz I want to talk about the Last of Us like season 2 stuff. Um it feels like they learned the wrong lesson from like what the game was. Like the season 2 is very much like shaved out all the things that made uh like Ellie, I guess, like relatable. Like now she's just like an unassailable villain, which is like not what Last of Us Part 2 was about. And like it's because all the characters have to say what they're feeling at any given moment and like tell you exactly like what the author intent was.
And it's like, God,
It's
now I'm
like
gonna turn into
you're not able to interact with it. Like your interaction is digestion. And
and
like
this is what frustrates me is that like as a medium for decades,
mhm,
um, in film, characters did not explicitly tell us what they were thinking or feeling.
right.
We would have to like digest it from like their behavior, and we would have to you know, like draw conclusions because characters do not announce their interiority. Like, I'm sorry, people do not announce their interiority in
Right.
life. So like, why would they do so in something which is like aiming for like a depiction grounded in realism?
Mhm.
Um, but somewhere around 20 years ago, um, we started to like move further away from that to this thing where like people are like, I am going to do this because I am angry at my father,
Right.
and I hate that. I hate that is like the most common like mass consumable like default for film now. Um, I mean, obviously, like not all movies are like that, thank God.
Yeah.
Um, but like it is so common, and it's also common in television because television chases movies, and so like we end up with this like thing, like in Last of Us is just like this incredibly messy like Ouroboros because you have television which chases film, and then you have specifically video games from Naughty Dog, which are published by Sony, and so Sony's video games
Mhm.
specifically, like structurally, chase movies. They are video
Right.
games. They are video games that are embarrassed to be video games.
I mean, they're just chasing vertical integration, but I get you.
Yeah, like they are embarrassed to be video games. They're like, oh no, if we could be movies, we would just be movies.
Right.
But but regrettably, we still have to have people press joysticks.
Mhm.
Um, and so like when I hear people go like, oh my god, why does The Last of Us translate so well into film and television? Like, well, friend, I can tell you, like, it's because so much of the stuff that Sony publishes now is embarrassed to be a video game in the first place. And if they could find a way to sell you a video game where you never press a button or push a joystick, they would do it. They
Mhm.
really would, because they really are embarrassed about it. Um, it's amazing, and like that's part of why it translates, I guess, so well. Um, but like one of the things that like Naughty Dog did was to adhere to like this older mode of storytelling where people didn't necessarily announce their motivations um, in dialogue, but because of the way TV and film is now, people are insistent like, okay, people have to like say what they're feeling and say what they're thinking. And like I swear to God, if people ascribe that change um to like something like to do with games, like it being something like having to do with games, it's going to be my Joker origin story, because like it has nothing to do with video games. It has everything to do with like the rise in YA film adaptations in the 2000s, with stuff like Twilight and Harry Potter, where young kids who were the market for those films were like the way that kids defined those adaptations being good was that they had to like leave absolutely nothing out of an adapted book. Like they were measured for accuracy. Like, okay, did they drink exactly 2 cups of butterbeer? Okay, great, that's good because they drank 2 cups of butterbeer in the book. Like having characters like announce their motivation on screen because they want to validate that, because these books are written from the first person perspective. And so like if you have Harry Potter saying like how he feels as part of like interior monologue, or Bella Swan, you're describing her own feelings, people want to see that represented somehow on screen, and 8-year-olds don't know how to trust actors yet, because it's a skill that needs to be learned. So instead, they just want, Daniel Radcliffe or Kristen Stewart to say, like, I would like to kiss a vampire because he is handsome, or, like, I would like to go to wizard school because my uncle is an asshole. Like, oh, ah, ah, ah.
I don't know. I thought Anakin Skywalker was totally a kid in like episode 3. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my god, oh man. I watched episode 3 apropos of nothing a couple months ago. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And when it got to the line where Anakin Skywalker says, "From my perspective, the Jedi are evil,"
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just have to walk into the ocean. It's gonna take a while because I'm currently in Arizona.
Uh-huh.
But I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to walk into the ocean. He's like, from my perspective, the Jedi are evil. Come on, what are we doing here?
He's a kid and an idiot,
Yeah.
I think they did that part right.
Nah, yeah. I mean, that is one thing like that I do periodically have to remind myself is like, hey, come on, Star Wars is for fucking children. There is a reason that there's a guy with big floppy ears walking around. Oh, he's stepping to dookies. Uh-oh, Bombad. Uh-oh. Because it's for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a reason that a little trash can walks around making beep boop noises, because it's for kids.
Leave R2 alone, man. He ain't doing nothing wrong. He ain't hurt nobody.
Yeah. It's fine, man. He's an adorable trash can. Tegan, you've never seen a Star Wars, right?
I've seen all of the Star Wars, actually.
She just doesn't.
Okay, to be fair, my default assumption is.
Yeah, no, I don't remember. I can see a Star Wars and I go, that's Star Wars. That's what I know about Star Wars. I've seen every movie. I can go, wow, that takes place in Star Wars, and that's it. Like, none of it sticks. You know?
Yeah.
So, like, you see C-3PO and you're like, that gold guy belongs in Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm like, I know that. I recognize that as a robot from Star Wars. Congratulations to me. I like the orange guy from the new movies better than R2-D2, though. But I don't remember his name. I just like the way he rolls around.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, soccer ball trash can man. Yeah.
He's more of a kid, I think.
Like he is a child, for sure.
R2-D2 is a grown ass man, but like the roller dude is definitely a kid.
R2-D2 is a grown ass man who swore so much they had to censor every word in the show. You know, the orange one is just picking up what they're putting down and repeating everything that's heard. You know, which is also a series of swear words that they can't repeat on television. You know.
For the first 6 movies, R2-D2 is paying child support.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then episode 7, he finally got custody, and that's the
Mhm.
little soccer ball trash can. Man.
Yeah, I love him. He's cute.
There it is. There it is. Like, that's why his name is BB-8, because he's R2-D2's BB.
Mhm.
That's cute.
There it is. R2-D2 smoking 2 packs a day.
Damn.
You know. He works at the Meineke. He just, oh, man.
I've also, for the record, I have also seen all of the Lord of the Rings, and I don't know what happens in those either.
They got a Gandalf in them.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
I can see the costume design. I go, this is great costume design.
So if I remember correctly, there's a couple Gandalfs in that movie, in those movies.
There's at least 2.
I kind of want to wander into the topic of Nintendo again.
Sure.
Okay.
So something that we didn't really get into last time because like there was real muddiness around it.
Mm-hmm.
Was the topic of the pricing of Mario Kart World.
Sure.
And like I was initially under the impression that there was a $10 surcharge for physical, and it's like no, it appears to be $80 physical and digital in the U.S. Behold, there is a $10 surcharge for physical, but only in the EU. So Nintendo is imposing for all of its games priced at $80, a $10 surcharge for the physical game in the EU market. So if you buy the Zelda re-releases or Mario Kart World in the EU, then you get to pay $10 on top. Like it is $90 to get a cartridge for those games in that space. Like that is just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild.
Also, like hearing that the release of Breath of the Wild for Switch 2 does not include the DLC.
Yeah.
Even if you subscribe to like, expansion pass plus premium Burt Reynolds edition.
Sure.
They don't care.
No.
Like, you still have to buy the DLC again. If you want Link to ride around on a fun motorcycle, you have to buy the DLC separately. Which means that like the cost to get a complete version of Breath of the Wild from scratch is $90.
Right.
Because you're buying the game and then buying the DLC separately. And like, friendos, what do we think of Nintendo charging $90 for an 8-year-old video game?
I mean, it's not worth it.
They're trying to line someone's pockets.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it when they were charging just $80 for it, you know?
Yeah. Like that's I mean, like you
like I don't think my opinion on that has changed at all.
Yeah.
The entire time. $80 was too much for a video game. You know?
And like they end up looking like weird and bad, even compared to like stuff which is releasing on the same device. Because Cyberpunk 2077 is $70, and the $70 for Cyberpunk 2077 includes the like very big ass expansion called Phantom Liberty, which came out 2 years ago. So when you buy Cyberpunk 2077, it includes the massive Phantom Liberty DLC. So it is a complete edition for $10 less than what they're charging for Breath of the Wild without the DLC. And I'm like, that is it seems like not a good look. Like it feels like Nintendo has reached a point where they're like, oh, okay, well, if people are buying our consoles, that's because they want our games in particular, and so um, we can do the highway robbery. Like they're here for this, and like they've made the decision that they think that what people will end up doing is like not buying like third party games or indie games. Like it's like they're more concerned with attaching their own games, and that feels like a disservice to their third party partners and to indie developers. Because I am sure that there are people out there that will make the decision like, oh well, if I can only buy 2 games for my Nintendo instead of 4 games for my Nintendo, then those 2 games will be from Nintendo itself. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that there are people who are going to think like that. But it like that certainly does like reduce the incentive to develop in that space when you have like places like Steam, where like you're going to be able to get in front of like a decent number of eyeballs, and discoverability gets better because like they're like people's experience like with like their daily Steam queues and so forth, and like what it pushes to the top of visibility for you is like based on previous purchase history. Like there's a good chance that like you're going to get shown to people who are more inclined to like buy your game than you would like say like a Steam's than like a Switch space, because the curation and store organization on the Switch is still a fucking mess. You open that store, like they're like the degree of personalization just isn't there. They're just like, here, look at all this garbage we're dumping on your face. So like, where's the incentive? If they're pricing their own stuff up in such a way as to like prioritize themselves above their partners, then why the fuck would you want to develop in that space?
I don't know if that's their goal.
Oh, I agree. I definitely don't think it's their goal. I think it's a byproduct of their goal. I think that they have reached a point where they understand their own premium, and they're like, people buy Nintendo consoles to play Nintendo games,
right?
And think that they can now price themselves accordingly. But I think that like it's at this point like at the cost of especially indie developers, because like so much of like the Switch's lifespan, like that console was like held up by indie devs as like the Switch eventually did reach a point where it was getting robust support from like third party developers, but especially those early years of the Switch, like the what I'll call like the salad days, but before people were like certain that the Switch was here to stay. It was definitely like held up by indie games. It was like, okay, Nintendo stuff and indie developers are like what make this thing worth owning. And the fact that like the Switch was persistently a target for indie devs, like, okay, we have to launch on Steam and Switch. And so if somebody wasn't necessarily a PC owner, the Switch was the place to find the game. Like it feels like the people that like helped make the Switch viable in the early going are getting like a raw deal. I don't think it's intentional on Nintendo's part. I don't think Nintendo necessarily thought, let's give these folks a raw deal. I just think it's kind of happening.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think, the same way the console wars are ultimately over, I think one thing that is also passed is Nintendo's dominance on the handheld gaming market. Like, that is just poof gone. And, like, the Switch had been dominant in, like, sales and, like, I guess, priority in terms of development because it was the cheap box to sell, to develop for, and it had an incredibly huge install base. Nintendo says they want to pump up more features, which pumps up the price, which means the install base is going to get smaller. So it's likely that they were going to be targeted less by like indie devs anyways. Like there wasn't going to be like a one-to-one switch to switch 2 transition no matter what. And I think since they decided to make a more premium product, it makes it harder for people to make that transition in the first place. And so, I don't know, them deciding that they want to focus more internally on like their games, even at the detriment of like indies, like I think that's more about like the environment that they're playing in than any like specific like executive decision.
It does make me curious as to like how long they will leave the barn door open for the original Switch.
Sure.
Like when will the last Switch game, be released?
My bet is 3 years because I think that's what happened with the new Nintendo 3DS, but I don't remember. I have to check.
Like 3 years, like for something published by Nintendo, or 3 years for them allowing stuff onto the storefront from like a third party or independent developer.
The former.
Okay, yeah. Because I certainly think it'll be longer for the latter. And I think that like what we may end up finding out is that like the Switch continues to be like when I say the Switch, I mean the Switch One like continues to be like a target for indie devs, because it is still like at this point like a cheap handheld that like people can you get into gaming with. And
yeah, actually I forgot about that. That's kind of nuts. Well, I think it happened the same year. The Nintendo 3DS was actually discontinued in 2020, which was 9 years after its initial release. But the new Nintendo 3DS was also disabled, or the new Nintendo 3DS was discontinued in 2017, and the XL in 2020. After like 6 years of being in the market. But I think that was about the Switch pivot more than like the life cycle of like the 3DS as a whole.
oh, yeah. But yeah, no, I think it's a good call out and a good observation, Rocky, to say that like Nintendo no longer has market dominance in a handheld space. And it like people I think expected the handheld space to like they spent years like watching the handheld space like expecting there to be some singular competitor that would come along and topple them, and like we talked at length about that one time on our Patreon special, and like why it wasn't a Game Gear or a Atari Lynx or a PSP, and that like so often like Nintendo's success in a handheld space wasn't necessarily because of their own like savvy. It was because of like other companies' bad luck.
Yeah.
And now like the case is just that the handheld space is like so diverse.
That's how you beat luck.
Yeah, there it is. Like, because if somebody's like, "Hey, I want to play video games on the go," like they don't even need to think about like buying a traditional console or a traditional handheld. They can go on Amazon knowing nothing about this thing and say like handheld video game machine and get served up like 3 dozen configurations of like Anbernic handheld devices, which will probably do exactly what they want. Or a Steam Deck, or like just there's so like the thing which ended up ultimately defeating Nintendo in the space is like diversity of choice. Like there's so many things out there.
I mean,
And
I
like go
think
ahead.
it's a little simpler than that. I do think the diversity of choice is big there, but I think it's just ubiquity. Like anyone that has a smartphone in the modern age can like partake of mobile gaming. Like, and
Yeah.
it's not perfect for sure, but like that's what you're fighting against, you know? Like you could make a new handheld Pokemon game or whatever, or like you can play something that looks kind of like Pokemon for free on your phone in like 10 minutes. How do you fight against that? Like,
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, like they're like it. I guess it like really is like a death of a thousand cuts, and like
yeah,
and the first two biggest cuts, come from Apple and Google in the form of the Apple and Android stores,
mm-hmm.
because like most people are carrying a device in their pocket that runs one of those two storefronts,
Right.
And even if you're a person who's like, I like serious and good games, there are plenty of those on both of those storefronts. You just have to like be willing to do the diligence to find the good stuff on the storefronts. But yeah, it's there. There are good games on both of those platforms. Like, sure, there's dog shit like, Candy Crush, but like there are very good video games on like Apple and Android devices. And if you are somebody who's like, I would like a dedicated device to play video games, then you run into like there are more choices than ever before, and you're able to like spend an amount of money that like scales to exactly what you're looking for. If you're like, I would like to emulate games from when I was young, and I am now about 40. That you can buy an Anbernic device for less than $100 that is going to do exactly that. Or if you want something which is more intensive, then you can get a Steam Deck and like what are those, like $400? Damn, like I should know the price of a Steam Deck offhand. Steam Deck price. Okay, yeah, the base Steam Deck is $399.
Yep.
And then the OLED 512 gig model is and then it's it ranges from $549 to $649 for the 1 terabyte models. So like, yeah, oh, okay. And Valve has offerings for used Steam Decks which have the LCD screen. So it is possible to get into a Steam Deck for less than $300. Man, you know what all of this talk does, Rocky?
What's it do?
What it makes me curious about, what it makes me think about, is when are we going to get the word? Like, when is Microsoft going to have that presentation? When are we going to get a look at this?
I don't know, man. Like, it may be next week. It may never happen. You know, like, I'll see it when I see it, I guess.
Yeah, at this point, it'll never happen would be a bad look, because they said on their investor call that it is happened, and they've like keyed up manufacturing.
Dog, they lied about Silksong, and then they got scooped on it, man. Like, it could be a bad look. Maybe they're due for one of those. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the smoke on the street is that the portable Xbox uses the same. That it's basically an Xbox Series S, with a screen and an integrated controller.
Yeah, basically, like they're leaning on like the xCloud like tech that they've been developing for the past 5 years or something.
Right, and so like if it's a Series S, so like it'll be able to run, lower impact games natively without much stress. So like if you're looking to like run a bunch of indie games or older games, then you'll be fine. And it'll like arguably play, new retail games. It just won't look great. But like the main attraction is for like the new stuff running off the cloud. But so it'll be like a device which does a combination of like running off of a hard drive for lower impact stuff and running off of a cloud for flashier stuff. Which I'm curious to see how that'll go. Like because they're basically already like trying that now with like people who currently have Xbox Series S. Like prompting them to not even download games, and instead just stream them from the cloud. If they're wired directly into their routers. So, but with a handheld device, you're not walking around your house or getting on the bus wired directly into a router. So like that kind of fidelity for the experience is not going to be available.
Yeah, maybe they're anticipating something changing with like baseline internet, because it's not like the technology doesn't exist, it's that the networks aren't built out.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe there's going to be some shift. Maybe like astronomically better internet is entering the field and that's what they're counting on. I don't know anything about that. That's all I'm saying.
It seems like every time I ever have to call my ISP for anything, like it greets me with this message which is like, what are you, a fucking hobo? What is with this old router you have?
Yeah.
What are you? They're like, come on, guys, damn. They're like, no, seriously, we could send a guy out there today. And I'm like, no, don't come at my house.
Just tell them to drop off the router, though. You still probably want it.
Buy your own router. Don't rent it from the company.
Also that. Because, like, the router tech is the thing that's missing, generally speaking. Like, the cabling, like, obviously we could replace all the cable, like, in the country with, like, fucking fiber, and then you couldn't trip someplace without getting gig internet, but, like, short of, say, something that's, like, peer-to-peer, like fighting games or whatever,
right.
Most connections are fine with, like, Wi-Fi, and, like, there are, like, Wi-Fi speeds that are north of, like, 200 megabits per second. Those fucking exist. And, like, we could have that, but everyone needs better routers. It's just what it is.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got going on? Oh, I do want to talk about the Minecraft movie and the associated bullshit a little bit.
Sure, man.
People of Earth, stop making messes in movie theaters. Just stop. It has gotten bad enough at my own, like, local, regionally owned movie theater chain that they have had to put up signs and are hiring private security for weekend showings, because apparently the whole bit with the air quote chicken jockey meme is that when the chicken jockey appears on screen, you're supposed to make a mess. What the fuck is that?
It's Rocky Horror Picture Show for kids.
But there's nothing that happens during Rocky Horror where the whole point of the exercise is like, starts and stops with, like, making a mess. Like, you don't buy a bag of popcorn to dump it on the floor. Like, you're like,
sure.
But you do go a toast and throw bread in the air.
Yes. You do throw a piece of toast. Yes, this is true. Also, like, never. I've never attended a showing of Rocky where part of the agreement with showing Rocky was that, like, hey, if you want to see Rocky, then like you're part of cleaning up Rocky afterwards. And I just these kids today. Like I have been all week. I have been looking at pictures of theaters after Minecraft showings,
Okay.
and just like, seeing the damage done, like upholstery torn off seat backs.
That's not good.
Just wild shit. How in the world you tear an upholstery off a seat pack? That's just crazy to me.
It's a little nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how a kid would do that either.
Yeah.
Kids aren't that strong.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
But
which I guess means like the kid is either like what, like bringing tools to get leverage, maybe like a knife or something. I don't know. Like,
that sounds like teenager behavior, not kid behavior, is what I'm saying. That's an older audience problem. That's not a problem with the 7-year-olds who are seeing the Minecraft movie. The popcorn, probably. But, like, ripping upholstery, that's older kid shit.
I could hear that.
But I guess it's, like, okay. But I guess regardless of whether it's kids or teenagers, it's still a Minecraft movie problem.
Sure.
And the thing that seems to be reflective is that, like, the people doing this shit are doing it to perform for cell phones. Because they want to record themselves, like, having a riot during the chicken jockey.
Right.
So that way they can post it to TikTok later.
Mm-hmm.
Man. It feels like if anybody could, like, curtail this behavior or stop this behavior, like, it could be TikTok as a platform. Being like, hey, chicken jockey riot videos are no longer allowed.
I mean, you could just deprioritize them, and that would probably be enough.
Yeah. Like it, because like right now, it is just absolutely just straight up because, like the way, like the validation for this behavior is uploading the videos. Man. I don't know. I don't know how to solve the Minecraft chicken jockey problem.
Oh, like really? Like
Yes.
It's it's solvable. It's just it requires pulling levers we don't have. Like, does that matter here, or are you trying to do it with what you have, like the levers?
Well, what are the levers that we don't have? That is interesting to me.
Okay. So like the theater destruction problem, right, is a property issue, and so you got to figure out whoever is like liable for it, and you could try chasing down whatever teenager like carved up a upholstery, and maybe that works, but it probably won't, and it's probably not like reproducible. But if this is a Minecraft movie problem, then like you'd present it to the theater, you'd like essentially sue for damages, you document the shit, and either Microsoft settles or because they don't want to deal with it, or they go to court over it and they could fight about it, and that could be its own thing. Or they try to shift the blame to someone else. And like if they blame it on someone, like if they find out it's for social media, they blame it on Meta or they blame it on TikTok or whatever, and they either have to do something about the videos or help repair the theater. And like these are all fights that like we're not privy to. I don't think we have the tools to really engage these people, but like this is solvable because like the mechanisms exist. It's just it doesn't have much to do with people. It's like judges and systems and money and whatever.
Kids also need physical third spaces that they can be,
True.
Right.
And that has been rapidly taken away,
Mm-hmm.
in the last like 10, 20 years. So that's another solution, is to allow them actual physical third meet spaces where they can interact with other people and like learn how to socialize in ways that are healthy and not, destructive.
Good call, Tegan. Like, part of this is, I guess kids don't know how to be around people anymore because all they know how to do is perform for the internet.
They're kind of out of practice. It's not their fault.
It's becoming a situation where the people in the phone are real and the people in the physical space with them are not.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked up.
Common sense isn't common anymore. It's just what it is,
Yeah.
Like, it happens. Like, what are we gonna do about it? Let's make a decision,
There's a lot of stuff we could do about
True.
it, but
Yeah.
we can't do it. We could do it like on a local level in like your cities and your towns, more than like that stuff that's going to happen there, as opposed to like at a federal level, which is where this like Minecraft lawsuit shit would be going,
Right.
And like, I'm sure that like, you know what, this is like a great segue to talk about like the Megan theater showings,
Sure.
right? So Meta and Blumhouse announced that the movie Megan would be returning to theaters for one night only, and that at those showings of Megan, there would be a special Meta co-pilot available for those showings, and the idea is that people seeing the movie will have their phone out the whole time to talk to a large language model that can offer them up details about what's going on the screen on any given time. So, like, yeah, as you're talking to the model about the movie, you could watch the movie, see, and the model will be aware of what's going on, and be like, it will say things like, "Hey, so here's how they filmed this scene," and then you can ask questions. And I'm like, this is not going to work well. And this also just like prompts people to have their phone out the whole time in a movie theater. Grumble.
Real.
I just I wish I knew how to solve all these problems. Alas, I do not.
Fair enough.
What else we got?
I killed Disco this week.
Sorry, did you say you killed a goat this week?
No, Disco.
Disco's dead. Rocky killed it.
It's true.
Okay, that is not a goat.
I mean, it could be a goat. Could be a great
Disco is definitely in goat territory for sure. It's like one of my favorite genres.
I saw a sentence that made me happy yesterday, which is that the sentence was, for thousands of years, the sentence, "my goat is washed," only meant one thing.
Yeah, right. What a time to be alive.
Oh,
man.
So how did you kill Disco?
It was the first boss in the raid tier. So like this is like week 2, or I guess now we're coming up on week 3. Week 3 starts on Tuesday, and I can now consistently fight against the first fight, who's a disco bunny boy that's fused with the soul of an angry frog.
Oh. What the fuck is that word?
What do you mean, Brian? You've seen it? Like,
yeah, like Final Fantasy's great, man.
You've literally seen this bunny boy, Brian.
Disco bunny boy.
Yeah, disco bunny boy fused with the soul of an angry frog.
All those words make sense in that order.
Yeah. And next week I'm going to be killing Banksy. I gotta learn that fight, and that's gonna be fun. But But for now, disco is dead, and it's not a fluke because I've definitely done it 2 weeks in a row, and I jumped into random groups. I think last night I jumped into a group, I was high as hell, and I still did it. Like, so I am no longer afraid of disco, and that feels great.
Rocky, somehow I did not know or realize that you got high as hell. I don't know I don't know why that is.
I'm a very private person.
Okay, all right.
Somehow I knew that though. So.
But yeah, Final Fantasy is going well. I finally got my crafters up to the point where I can craft the current gear, and it is a huge weight off my shoulders that I don't have to pay 14 million gil to gear myself. I can just make the shit with my hands. I got to do my own legwork, which is a little annoying, but I got 2 legs and 2 hands, so I figured it would be fine. And I'm playing with a static, and they're more casual, they're having fun. They're not that good, but they're okay. There's definitely some bright spots. Nah, it's just like, Brian, I've played with like world first people before, like people who like are the best in the world at this video game. And like these people, they're just not them, and that's okay. Whatever. Like they're gonna make it through the tier. They always do. They're just going at a slower pace. As opposed to the people who basically kill themselves for a week to like clear everything on week 1. And like that's its own thing. I don't want to be any of those people either. So I'm having fun. And if we don't clear by the end of the week, I can just jump into a group and clear it myself. It feels good. I feel like I have agency. I feel like I have a strong foundation to build my skills upon.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, I'm hanging out in the lower tiers of the game trying to get a cool glowy weapon. And it's just taking time, which is fine. I don't mind it.
Yeah,
I'm hanging out with a lot of people. I met another Aura girl who we had the same, we looked the same, which was very exciting for me because I've never seen, it's my first time running into another person who has a tune that looks the same as mine, which is fun. And also we had the same voice. So I was just like, we killed it.
That's very funny.
We're like twins.
Oh, man.
It was very good.
Hell yeah.
I'm running into a bunch of dungeons that I didn't know existed, which is
I
cool.
Yeah,
I found a big spooky anthill. Don't like it. I hate it. Like, those bugs are big.
Is that like the second Cutter's Cry or whatever?
Yeah, something like that. It's full of big old ants.
Yeah, it's Cutter's Cry hard.
Ooh, I don't like it.
It's weird,
But like I'm doing it, and I'm doing pretty good. I'm getting to the point where like I'm understanding mechanics as I'm seeing them a little bit. And I know there's still early game mechanics, but that's still exciting for me.
Nah, Brian, you know what's killing me? Like, you know how I yell about a lot of stuff in Final Fantasy, but remember, like, I come back to it a couple of times where I say, like, they keep taking cool shit out of the game and it's affecting me personally. And like, they're like, they'll dumb down classes. Like they'll take some of the complexity out to try to get more people to try them out because, they're unpopular jobs. They want to hit some sort of distribution or whatever. So it's like, people aren't playing this class. Maybe we'll make it easier. And they take out cool shit instead. Like that literally happened to one of the classes that Tegan's been playing, like Black Mage. They just made it so you don't
really
have to manage.
Did.
Like it used to be this really neat kind of like plate spinning management game while you're like casting and what have you. And now they just made it, there are 3 things that you just don't have to manage anymore. And like all the cast timers, we're just going to make them super fast. It's just all lower now. And it's like Black Mages are dealing more damage, but like there's less plates to spin and people are yelling about it. And now Tegan's in the middle of it.
I feel glad. I'm like happy about some of it, but I'm also sitting here like it's fucked up my rotation and I can't adjust. It's so bad. I'm like, so I open with this spell and then I do this and then I do it again and I do it again and I'm fine. And it's like, I open with this spell and I don't have to do that anymore the second time because I still have my buff from casting it the first time. And my stupid little baby brain can't adapt. And I'm just like, but this is less efficient. And it's like, but we don't need to do it anymore. You can save that mana for other stuff. Do different damage instead. And I'm like, no. My hands are like, this is the order we do things in. And my brain is like, not anymore.
Yeah.
It's so, and now I can like, I'm just hanging out. It's very much turned into like I'm just hanging out thing, and I'm like, I get it now. I understand why Rocky was upset when they took all the cool shit out of Viper. I'm upset. They took my complexity out of Black Mage. It used to be a fun little puzzle, and now my puzzle brain is just like, all right, I guess we do this now.
Oh my god. Hold on. I'm looking at something really insane. It's one of the things that they were talking about was that spell speed was potentially going to be less effective on Black Mage since the cast times are so low. But it looks like the spell speed is still better. But the GCD on it now is super fast. Like it's like 2.17, which means that like the 2.0s go down to like 1.7. Like those are like World of Warcraft numbers on cast times.
Yeah, that's yep. That explains what that feels like. So
yeah.
God, I don't know how I feel about it. I miss my puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back. I miss my wife tails. I'll be back. You know?
Yeah.
Oh well, it'll be okay. Maybe they'll buff it again. Maybe they'll be like, wow, now it's too easy.
Nah.
I can dream.
The thing is, Yoshi P plays Black Mage, and he's just like, Black Mage is busted, and I don't have to press as many buttons. This is like the dream, or whatever.
No, it's not the dream.
Fucking
put it back.
Oh, man. But yeah, I'm looking at the balances thing. What does the opener look like now?
I don't know. I don't have to learn it yet, so it doesn't matter, but like, ugh.
Oh my god, yeah, it's just like single target is Transpose, Swiftcast, Blizzard 3, Blizzard 4, Paradox, Transpose, Firestarter, Fire Force, Paradox, Fire Force, Flare Star, Despair, Transpose. Okay.
Yeah, it's
that
like,
is a lot simpler.
It's so simple now.
Yeah, okay.
And that's fine, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, hold on.
Sorry you can handle it or whatever.
I found leveling rotations. I'm just going to send these to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know how to search for shit yet, but I'm going to get there. Hashtag maybe someday.
Yeah, Final Fantasy's cool. I'm having a good time.
I'm also having a good time.
Just not killing Disco.
No, I'm not killing Disco. I'm trying to get cool glowy weapon. I want to look neat. It's not even like I'm actually like over leveled for it by a significant margin, even when it's fully done. But I can use it to make other boring weapons that I have look cool. So I think that's worth it.
Oh. Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. I can disguise other weapons as this like neat little glow stick thing, you know?
I did that when I got the Omega like scholar book. Like I just wore that for like 5 years, I think.
Because it's a good book.
And
I'm not mad about my my stick that looks like it has an orange glowing meteor on top of it, you know? It's gonna be cool. I'm gonna work on the next one, which is less cool. Most of the Black Mage like gear though is just like how edgy do you want to look? Yeah. You know, we'll give you an eye patch and an oversized coat so you can't see your mouth, but like you can see your eyes above it, and like a big funny hat. You know?
Yeah.
And then like baggy pants because why not? And you like it looks uncomfortable. Like this looks hot to wear. Not hot sexy, hot temperature.
Hot derogatory, yeah.
Yeah. And like all the Black Mage quests are in the middle of a goddamn desert. Why am I doing who is this serving? Not me. Die of heat stroke. It's very silly. But it's fine. I'll deal with it. I do like the coat I'm wearing right now, though. Looks like it's made out of leather, which is neat. And I was like looking at the seam work on it because the seam work is actually really good in like the little, little pixels. And I was just like, this would be a sick coat to wear for real. This would be so cool. Be expensive as fuck.
Oh, that reminds me. At some point I got to start doing maps, so I can get some of the stuff that you need to craft, like the new like glam gear, like all the stuff that the real cool kids are wearing that can like craft everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I think I talked about maps before. Like it's effectively like a gachapon where you have to like go. You get a map and then it takes you to a place, and then you go to the place, you fight a monster, and it'll generate a portal probably. And if you go in the portal, then like you fight like nominal enemies. Like they're not tough really, but like you like have to pick like left rights or whatever, and like the longer that you're able to go, the closer you're able to get to like
the cool stuff.
Yeah, the cool like stuff that you can like turn into like the leather or like the thread that you need to make the newest like fancy crafted gear. Like that urban coat used to have a piece of leather that you could only get while doing maps. And so like I don't remember what the newest things are. I know like we're kind of in like a sort of cyberpunk like streetwear sort of moment here in Final Fantasy 14. But I don't actually remember what the new pieces actually look like. But I know that they're still lucrative because the maps, like the end game maps, are still selling for $50K a pop. So like whoever is trying to get that stuff is definitely really aggressive about trying to get it, that they're willing to pay out for it.
God, I'm not looking forward to the fashion end game.
Yeah.
Like I am for sure. But at the same time, like, I'm going to be crying over that by like this time next year or whatever.
I mean, Teagues, if you level crafters, you'll never have to pay for anything. So there is that.
I'm not ready to do that yet.
Yeah, that's fair. I hear you.
I'll do it eventually, but not yet.
Like, it definitely took me basically a summer to get like all the crafters and like the gatherers leveled. Do gatherers and then crafters.
I was gonna say, if I just do gatherers, can I just be like, throws things at you?
I mean, yeah, that's true. That's
fine. Please.
I think that'd be okay because I have all the crafters like leveled, but like the idea is that like
double materials makes them for you too. Hi-oh.
I mean, I'll probably just like stop gathering outside of stuff that I like really need if like I'm gonna have someone that brings me stuff that works.
That could be cool.
Symbiotic.
Yeah, I have to get better though.
Yeah,
I have to catch up. I have to catch up first so I can go to all the places so I can get all the stuff. That's how that works. And then I can go back and speed run, you know?
Oh yeah, Brian, I forgot to talk to you about this. Did you hear that Warframe added a fucking dating sim?
I'm sorry, did you say that Warframe added a dating sim?
Yeah, those are the words I said.
In that order, even.
You know what? Somehow this checks out.
Yeah, Warframe just keeps getting to add stuff. It's a free-to-play game. People pay more to free-to-play games than like actual games, honestly. And so like Warframe is intensely popular. They keep adding features. Like I used to joke that like 100% Orange Juice was Game of the Year every year, but like now it's fucking Warframe, I guess. I don't know, man. Or Fortnite with Sabrina Carpenter and shit.
The Sabrina Carpenter girlies aren't killing each other. They're starting big long dance trains together. I think that's so cute.
That's amazing. Let's go.
Yeah, I saw like some Chinbeard complaining about a Sabrina Carpenter dance train.
Hold that.
And I was like, you sure are here to complain about the biggest problem of 2017.
The girlies who get it, and the guys who don't. And that's okay. You know?
He's like, why are you ruining my video game? Like, dog, like, look, like, if this was not the kind of game where Sabrina Carpenter dance trains were possible, it would be long abandoned. Like, which would you rather your video game be? The one that gets the half-page press release to talk about, like, we're so happy to have told so many stories together. where like your game just gets unceremoniously shut down, or the one where it gets perpetual support because for some reason the youngs like it. And it occurs to me that like Fortnite is like Minecraft. It's just Lego IP bullshit slop for kids. And that's fine.
Be nice
Like
to
that, there's
Lego.
nothing wrong with that. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like the reason that things like Minecraft and Fortnite work is they are the digital equivalent of the mall. You can go to the mall and then do whatever you want in the mall. Do you want to get an Orange Julius? That's cool. Do you want to go buy some books? That's great. Do you want to get a new cute skirt? Fantastic. All of these things are possible in the mall. Like the mall is not like a singular function place. Like you can do tons of things in the mall. And Minecraft and Fortnite are the mall. Like there's not just one thing you do. Like if you say that you're going to Minecraft does not mean you're going to punch trees to get wood. If you say you're going to Fortnite does not mean you're going to like build towers and shoot people. Like the success of the Minecraft movie and the Sabrina Carpenter thing did make me think like, how long until the inevitable Fortnite movie? And what does a Fortnite movie look like even at this point?
I mean, maybe there'll be a Fortnite movie, but I feel like if they wanted to make a movie, they probably would have done it by now. You know?
Yeah, I don't think the Fortnite movie is a thing that happens.
Like, I mean, it might happen, but like, I feel like they're just so interested in doing other shit, and it's working for them. So like, no rush, I guess.
Like I don't think that if it was going to happen, it would have happened. Is the case? I think it's more like, I think Epic probably has been looking for the right deal and wants to make sure that you know, like whatever deal they do eventually make for a Fortnite movie, like reflects the expansiveness of the Fortnite brand identity which currently exists. Because like right now, Fortnite is a place where Darth Vader can dance because they not like us and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have Deadpool's twin katanas strapped to Sabrina Carpenter's back, and you kind of want whatever movie gets made to reflect that. Which means that like any kind of Fortnite movie deal needs to like reflect a whole bunch of other brands TM as well. So it's got to be something like a Lego movie. And if years and years and years ago somebody said to me like, Brian, they're going to make a Lego movie, I'd have been like, that's a dumb fucking idea. Like, how do you make a movie about Legos? But like, of all of the movies which are IP slop, the one which is least like IP slop is Lego. Like the Lego movie is great. So I don't know. Maybe go get those guys. Go get like Miller and Lord and have them be your Fortnite movie people. They obviously get it. They were able to do it with Lego, but I want to ask the most boomer question I've ever asked on this show.
Sure, man.
And please forgive me for asking it. Because I should know the answer to this question already. But I'm just going to ask. Is Minecraft in Fortnite?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Okay, so like Minecraft Steve is not a, like I can't like
I don't think so. I can check.
Not to my knowledge, no.
Is Minecraft?
No, not yet.
That's a
allegedly. There's a roadmap that there was a roadmap leak that Minecraft will collab with Fortnite, but not right now.
Man, they're going to be the most. Oh man, just the worst YouTube thumbnails when that moment ever happens. Um, is there anything else we wanted to get to today, folks? Is this it? Is this it?
I think that's it. I don't know.
I mean, we can
This
stop
is
now.
fun.
No big deal.
Hmm.
And Rocky, take us home.
Sure, man. Hey, everybody, this has been the Impossible Quinn podcast. Thanks for hanging out. We do these every couple of weeks. There's music in the beginning and end of the show is produced by our friend Big Sach. You can find his work at SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Big Sach NJ. And you can also find his band's Bandcamp page at betweenrooms.bandcamp.com. Our logo was designed by Lauren Moran. You can find her on social media at Lauren Moran, and she also has a Patreon. She does good work. Check her out. We do this every couple of weeks. You can find them where podcasts are found, except for SoundCloud. It is what it is. And we stream a couple times a week at twitch.tv/ImpossibleCoin, and we do an anime night on Sunday evenings. So come hang out. Say hi if you want to. Tell me your new Blueprint strats. Did I miss anything? Do we have anything else I need to say here? I forget.
No, man, that's everything.
Cool. Yeah, that's us. That's the show.
Peace.